everyone, it's Sevy. The Freedom Sworn is currently alongside the Song of Broken Pines on the weapon banner. You might be wondering if it's a worthy addition to your account, or if you just pulled it, who you can put it on. Kazuha has only had one run after all, and a lot of people slept on him the first time. So in this short video, I'll just introduce to you how it works, my opinions on it, and who else can use it well. So let's first go over how the weapon itself works. The Freedom Sworn is a support weapon. The weapon itself has a base attack of 608 and an EM substat of 198 at level 90 out of 90. Part of its passive is increasing the overall damage of the user, but its real value is thanks to the rest of its thick AF description. What it basically says is that when the user procs an elemental reaction twice, at least 0.5 seconds apart, party members will get a 16% damage bonus to their auto attacks and a 20% increase to their attack on R1. This effect can be achieved even when the holder is off field and lasts 12 seconds with a cooldown of 20 seconds, so there's a downtime of 8 seconds. What's nice about it is it somewhat helps avoid diminishing returns since both the attack stat and multiplier stats are increased together. Effectively, on R1, it can result in around a 10% more damage output for your main DPS, but less for off-field sub-DPSs since they can only make use of the attack percent buff. It's easy to see why this is support Kazuha's best in slot. The high EM substat and a passive that can be procced by both his skill and burst off-field, he surely utilizes all parts of it. But it's a hard sell for me since the Iron Sting is a thing. The EM substat increase is close to Freedom Sworn, and while it doesn't have the team support utility of Freedom Sworn, it increases Kazuha's elemental damage up to 12% on R1 and 24% on R5. Personally, I don't find the upgrade from an Iron Sting to Freedom Sworn that tempting. Kazuha's built-in kit is already so good at supporting your team and amplifying damage even with just the Iron Sting. Yes, Freedom Sworn adds extra amplification, but Kazuha already does incredibly well as a support on an R1 Iron Sting. If you want the absolute best for a support Kazuha, then sure, pull the Freedom Sworn. But if you ask me, I'm okay with sticking with the Iron Sting. But what if you don't have Kazuha? Is it useless? Who else can equip it, and which DPSs can be buffed by it? Let's look at other Freedom Sworn users. Our most obvious candidates are the other Anemo sword users, Jean and Anemo Traveler. Ever since the EM buff of 1.6, swirling has gotten a lot more valuable. Both Jean and Anemo Traveler can proc the support passive in one go with their hold skill and their bursts. Those talents can proc several swirl reactions over a short span of time. I would say it's a best in slot for Anemo Traveler and maybe also for Jean if you're building her as a healer, buffer, VV all-in-one support unit. Also, it looks really beautiful on Jean. Our next candidates are on the current character banner. First is Albedo, and while defense and damage focused Albedo is the common way to go, it's not the only way to go. You can build a support Albedo using a 4-piece tenacity of the Millilith and a Freedom Sworn, because his elemental skill can frequently proc crystallize off-field, and with a gap of at least 2 seconds, it's relatively easy for Albedo to proc the Freedom Sworn passive. Then there's also Bennett. Bennett can proc the Freedom Sworn passive if he does his skill twice, or his skill then burst. It's really not the most practical build on Bennett, but for damage showcases or speedruns, you could try it. You could also try equipping Kaeya with it. He will be able to proc it with elemental reactions from his burst and skill. It's again not the most practical or typical build, but it's workable. Ever since Freedom Sworn's release, are there new units that would enjoy having its buff? Raiden, unfortunately, can't take advantage. While she gets the attack buff, her burst stance can't utilize the auto attack buff since her attacks are counted as burst damage, not normal attack damage. Yoimiya and perhaps a DPS Kokomi are the latest best ones to benefit from it. Yoimiya especially because almost her entire damage lies in her auto attacks. Ayaka is also viable since she takes field time and her auto attack damage will increase of course, but most of her damage is built into her burst. As for the rerun, since 1.6, Childe is good for this and his melee stance is considered normal attack damage, so it will be buffed unlike Raiden. Hu Tao can also benefit from the Freedom Sworn if you're running a Toma Kazuha comp, though not as well as other DPS units since she doesn't have as high a base attack to increase in the first place. So that's all for this quick video, everyone. I'd love to know in the comments if you pulled Freedom Sworn and what you think of it, or if you're still contemplating whether it's worth your primos or not. I hope this video helped you out, and if it did, don't forget to leave a like, consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you soon. Take care!